Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Immortal Thor issue 17, 2023. Oh, I really like this cover. I love the use of purple and blue, and seeing Grey Gargoyle turning Thor to stone like that. Damn, that's just a really good cover, and fits with what has happened to Thor. So, let us get into this one. Young fellow, by what fellow art thou begot? Of what people art thou the son? From the lay of Fafnir, the elder Edis of Saemund Sigfusson. Thor gazed into eternity, and saw nothing, no star to guide him, no bird to show him a sign. So, as before, he stripped his mind of thoughts, closed his eyes, and breathed deep the slumber of gods. Thor, and we see him broken apart, which is a really well done page. It's like, holy shit. But, interestingly, his belt is still unaffected by turning to stone. So let's see what's going on here. And then, you're dying, Thor, but not yet dead. Who calls me from the void? Don't you remember me, Thor? We used to be so close, you and I. Why, we were almost the same person. Donald Blake, my other self. And I really kind of like the progression and different kind of layout of the paneling here. It just kind of sets it as we get Thor waking up and seeing Donald Blake with his fucking venomed out eyes. Not symbiote venom. Created by Odin to hide you, even from your own memory, your secret identity. But I got tired of being a story, a living fiction. So I asked the Enchantress to give me what all Odin's other children had. To make me a god. I remember. Mora always had a plan within the plan. She did as you bid, but on her terms. She stole your body, the greater part of your substance, to build the keep, her familiar, a god of sorts. Your head I placed in a land of dreams, where the remains of your soul might be content. And there the world serpent Jormungandr found you. You had grown stronger in your dream realm, but your soul was still weak. He corrupted you. He woke me to the truth. It's like, ah, shit. And I kind of like that we get this information here. And it's balanced. I can understand if somebody's like, this is a plot dump because I already have all this kind of stuff. And even though I've read this kind of stuff, it's better than certain kind of ones where it's just like, bleh. That you put me in a box and forgot me, like a toy, like I wasn't real. And then you did it again, handed me off to Loki. Do you even know what Loki did? Do you know where I am, Thor? Not here? It's like, as we see him shouting at Thor, it's like, oh shit. Only my mind. We're connected, Thor, even now. My eyes are burned away, but I see through yours. And while yours lingers here in the void land of Vidblane... Vidblane? I'm gonna go with Vidblane. Though if I mispronounced that, I'm sorry. We can speak, as we did once before. Remember what I said to you then about Midgard's end? It's like, oh shit. And it's like, yeah, you really need to know what Loki does. This is the future that awaits for Earth without you. If you're not at the right place at the right time to tilt the balance, so you once said. You sound doubtful, Thor. You've seen Gaia's wrath, felt the power of the Utgard gods. Do you think I lied to you then? Do you think I'm lying to you now? Don't I have an honest face? As we see the Midgard in ruins and then see what Donald's face can be. It's like, holy fucking shit. That's the thing. You might have certain things, kernels of truth, but what is the end goal for you, Donald? What do you want, Blake? We're connected, you and I. Maybe if you die, I die. Maybe if you die, I'm free. Maybe they're the same thing. I wanted to see for myself, which makes sense with how Donald has been done, and I kind of like that we see this continuing forward. I wanted to watch. Remember Thor? Od's blood. There are forces that prefer you dead. Creatures of Vidblane that do not like their guests to leave. That want to make you one of them. Life is a fight, Thor, and yes, you fought your way back from this dark realm once, but now your way back to life is broken. The path is shattered like stone, so fight all you want, as we see all these creatures coming up and going after him and just bypassing Blake, because he's not there. You have nothing left to fight for. It's like, does he? As we see him cracked. It's like, shit. Sacre bleu. I still cannot believe you murdered Thor, Hyde, and I helped you. I kind of like that Grey Gargoyle is like, I might be a villain, super villain at that, but I don't want to kill Do you know what Captain America will do to us? Mon Dieu, my life is over. It's like, yes, be afraid of what Captain America will do because you killed his friend, man. He's like, he will come for your ass. I'm like, all right, man. That's the difference between us, Frenchie. I feel my life has just now begun. When does he turn into meat? A minute, you said. I want to see god blood spilling in the dirt. For Mr. Hyde to lap like a dog. The ultimate blasphemy, do all. Culmination of my great work. This is Paris all over again. I cannot watch. It's like, yeah, do not connect with these motherfuckers. What about you, Cobra? Are you frightened of a little blood? On the contrary, I'm fascinated by the process. I think we should look. We should face what we have. It's like, yeah, what you fucking done, man? But then we see some crazy-ass shit going on as some green energy starts putting Thor back together as he starts fighting the creatures as well. Which I really kind of like the progression as he's like being put together as he's fighting, and the fighting kind of getting smaller as Thor's getting more connected, kind of showing him overtaking and getting more back into the physical realm. Chen, if that's your doing, no, Hyde, whatever this is not me, as we see him fighting and then getting overtaken. But then, shaboom! And I really like the use of green here. And the thing is, the green is kind of different than Radioactive Man's green. The stone spell wore off. Thank you, Gargoyle. Well spotted. Get ready, gentlemen. I don't think he's going to be pleased with us. Do you think? Goddamn, that is a really great looking Thor there. And then we focus in on his face. Aye, verily. It's like, boom! It's like, holy shit! Welcome to the part where you have fucked around and you're about to find out. So he pretty much cracks on Radioactive Man first, which is the most immediate threat. Chen, did you stop glowing? Tell me you did not stop glowing. It takes more than that, but not much more. You are all fighting me in a place with no civilians, with nothing to hold me back, while in the company of a walking bomb. Did you think that through? It's like, he didn't. We should go. You're made of stone, you coward. Have you seen what Thor can do to stone? Alright. Radioactive Man does fully lose control. This area could be uninhabitable for centuries. Thor's bluffing. I think he's bluffing. Good enough for me. Queensberry rules, sir. Let go of that hammer and fight me like a man. It's like, okie dokie. And I love it when someone's like, let go of that hammer. As you wish. Voila. Didn't tell me how to let it go. Is that all you have, you little blighter? Is that all you? Nay. Smack a back. And then Thor just standing there like, fuck yeah. I also have my axe. Tormod, the wise one. The keen edge. Tormod, that cuts oak like butter. Tormod, whose blade hath already tasted mortal blood. It's like, Yelan there. Oh, and then it was really kind of weird that evidently there's an interesting, weird Marvel, manga thing. New from the creators of My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Spider-Man, Octogirl. After a battle with Spider-Man, the evil genius scientist Dr. Octopus falls into a coma. When he wakes up, his consciousness is in the body of a schoolgirl in Tokyo. I know we're doing some epic Thor shit here, but that was just like, what the fuck? Okay, go for it. You are bluffing. Am I? I have fought Ragnarok's little cobra. Yes, multiples. I have been the death of gods. Do you think I will not stoop to your red slaughter? Do you? No, boss, I know you're listening. Pull us out. It's like, Or wouldn't, but using that kind of thing to shake him. Well done, was it? A gang of rogues that barely troubled me before I was Allfather, and through surprise and trickery, they nearly bested me. Yes, always keep that in mind, Thor. Always understand that humbling nature. All power can do much, but it cannot put together a pile of sundered meat, and that is nearly what I became. It seems I owe my life to your timely intervention, Enchantress. Well, you know what I want, Thor, my son restored, and I told you I'd find some way to persuade you, but then you were already a little persuaded. It's like, she just had to kind of cinch it there, and this is what it does. Hurt you. Thor was. Neither magic nor blackmail nor Mora's charms could ever bind him, but his own conscience was a different matter. Exactly. He owed her, and so the die was cast. After this day, Asgard would never be the same. Home, then. It seems we have much to discuss. And elsewhere, there was also much discussion among Midgard's newest gods. So we see them getting bifrosted out, and then we see these new gods talking with Dario Augur. So how do we think that went? How do you think, Augur? Cobra and the Frenchie turned coward. Boo-hoo, we killed Thor. Is this a parlor game to you, sir? Do you imagine I dose myself with an evil potion every day for the chance to not kill Thor? If we had killed Thor, I'd agree, Hyde, but we only made him mad. It's like, very good point there, Cobra. And I just love, this dude's like, I doused myself with evil potion. Do you think I not want to kill these people? We did what we set out to do, prevent Thor from mending his reputation on Earth. Anything more was always a bonus. What I'd like to know is how he survived. The Enchantress is doing, at least according to the audio surveillance I left behind. It's like, shit, so they know. And it's interesting to understand what their objectives were. And I really kind of like the paneling kind of here to show Augur like that. Excellent, Mr. Voorhees. We'll use that when we leak the Enchantress is the new Roxxon CEO. That way she can take the blame for whatever Iron Man makes public during the war with the company. See how it all comes together? It's like, fuck you, Augur, as he's doing all this kind of stuff. And I like how that's tying in to the Iron Man run. Great synergy there. Without beating you over the head, you're like, oh, okay, so something's going on with Iron Man with Roxxon. If I'm reading this, I might want to check into that and see what's kind of going on. But it's value add. That's the important bit. If it starts to become required reading, then you're like, okay, you have to take up both of these things. But here, I like this. As for Thor, you'll get your rematch, Hyde, and you needn't go to him for it. He'll come to us, and so it would prove, both in ways the Minotaur planned for and ways none could foresee. But that is another tale. It's like, shit, as they're looking unexpectedly, especially Mr. Hyde. Grey Gargoyle's like, I shouldn't fucking be here. I fucked up. Meanwhile, in Uller's Hall, a story that had ended before its time sought new continuation. The fire is lit, brother. The secret flame of Asgardian magic built as I built it in the long ago. Be wary, for it is the fire of doom, a thing bound to fate as surely as if by the Norn's own thread. Wary I shall be, brother Uller, and thank you. In Loki's absence, no other could have done it. I am no longer master magician of Asgard, brother, nor will I decide who is, but I do what I may for my kin. No good will come of this, Thor. The mere fact it takes such magic to achieve should tell you that. For the last time, will you not reconsider? It's like, oh yeah. And I really like how the fire kind of is like the prominent theme here. I have done Sith many times, but I was not with young Eirik in his hour of need, and his mother was with me in mine. Thus, honor leads my mind to the place my heart already waits. Eirik deserves Valhalla, but he also deserves to see his mother again in the living lands. What comes after that, we will decide. Well spoken, Thor. This fire will be the focus of my spell, thy all power the fuel. Have no fear, you will not be granting me any measure of that cosmic might. Instead, you will simply channel it through me into Uller's flame. It's like, just that explanation is like, we shouldn't be doing this. What the fuck? And through this, my son will be restored, Eirik. I would have you speak his name more, for it occurs to me that you have more than one son in need of restoring. Ove, your child and namers from a possible future, lost his magic and much of his strength in a battle with Captain Marvel. You swore vengeance on her, and I know how your mind works. Using me to further your campaign against Carol would be an elegant revenge on us both. I do owe Carol Danvers much, Thor, and I'm sure you and I will fight over the bill when it comes due. But do you honestly think I would choose a child from a future that will never be over the baby I held in my arms? This has nothing to do with Ove. I give you my, not just my word, but my oath. And I swear that oath upon my own blood, as we see her do. It's like, okay. Now this is pretty cool, as we see them doing the whole thing. Now let my blood seek its own, and at the All-Father's will, through the all-power he summons, let my son be found. Aye, even past the veil of death, past nothingness itself, past all doorways, across all voids, past fate itself, to reweave the threads long broken. Let my child return to me. The words echoed like the thunder in the deep, for this was deep magic indeed. Ancient powers crashed and collided in fire and lightning, tearing open what was long sealed, shattering a lock that the structure of the universe itself had set in place. And when that great and terrible work was done, a more renewed triumph. My son is alive, as we see her happy. It's like, oh shit. Then it is finished. Glad I am of it. Much more of that would have burned the eyes from my head. My eyes see plain, as do mine. Thor, this is not right. I know, Sif. You advised me against this course. But the deed is done now. I owe to Mora too much, and Eirik likewise, but that's not Eirik, Thor, and it's not Ove either. It's someone I've never seen before. What? Mother, is that you? I remember a battle for Asgard's very heart and soul. You were there, Mother, and you, Lady Sif. I fell in the fight, and you bore me away, and then time itself ended. That voice. What have you done, Amora? As we see it before we get the reveal. If it's any consolation, you were right. Eirik deserves peace, and Ove made his own bed. Still, I did study certain future timelines for Ove's sake, and I learned in such studies that I had another son, in a future that was and is no more, because my future self undid it all, and with good reason. That future Thor gifted me his memories to ensure no part of his dark tale could ever happen again. No part, Thor? Was it all so dark and terrible? Was he? Some barriers should not be broken, Amora, but no, to lose him, that was dark. But he was the light of that dark age. You all speak in such riddles. Where am I? Can this be New Asgard? All-Father Thor, is that truly you? 'Tis I. Hello, Magni. And it's like, shit. And I really kind of like how Amora kind of frames the page here as she's explaining what's going on. Hello, my son, as we see one of Thor's sons, Magni. Now, this is interesting, the son of Thor. And we get if they be wordy kind of thing going on. That's really kind of cool. But what's really awesome is we get this next issue, and then I have this comic series of, like, Magni. I'm like, shit! Like, this is definitely going to be interesting to see how this kind of plays into the story, what kind of goes on there. If we essentially keep Magni around as the warrior Thor, if that makes sense. Though I don't know what Amora's whole plan is for this. Because Thor's trying to be the king and that kind of warrior Thor, and having that kind of balance. We'll see how that kind of works out. And we'll see what's going on here. That's going to be gnarly. So, next issue. Thor versus his oldest foes. On Asgard, Thor has been outplayed by the Enchantress, and their game would have vast consequences for the Golden Realm. And on Earth, the self-styled gods of Midgard made their bid to take the kingdoms of humankind for their own. This is the story of the immortal Thor and the heir to the throne of all. So I'm really looking forward to that. And this is linking up to pretty much that whole thing that was going on in that timeline. And for those who can't wait for the next startling issue of Immortal Thor to learn about Agni's origins, check out Thor 1998, issue 68, available on Marvel now. But I have, like, the comics. That's really kind of cool. I was really kind of, like, happy with this issue because of all that kind of stuff. So, I really enjoyed this because it was interesting to see Thor and Donald kind of have their bit, have an update on him, see that Amora pretty much used Thor, have it on the back foot to use her advantage to bring her son from another future, Magni, into play. I'm intrigued to see what she's going to be an attempt to do with Magni and what her overall plan is on that front. I did like seeing the interweavings of Dario being like, listen, we stopped Thor from trying to mend his reputation and everything. Iron Man is in play as well, so I liked that link up for value add, and that Enchantress is trying to do something with being like the CEO of Roxxon, so it's all kind of nutty. We'll definitely, there's a lot of crazy shit into play. Of course, we've got whatever Loki's doing in the background too, because Loki's probably has different objectives than what's going on with Amora and what's going on with Utgard and Gaia, so there's a lot of crazy shit, and I'm just like, I did not expect Magni, and to have those kind of old school issues come into play like this, I'm like, shit. So that's really kind of cool and really kind of helpful. This, I mean, I've liked knowing about like deep cuts and stuff like that, but it's like, shit, like that's a really deep old school one for at least me, and I'm like, I had those. That's kind of cool. I always love when that shit kind of happens. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.